So when I was really little, I lived with my uncle, and he was almost like a dad to me because my dad wasn't really around. And when I started getting older, I noticed some changes in his personality, and me and my cousin, we were learning about drugs in school, and they were listing the effects of meth and like why not to do meth, and we kind of put it together that my uncle had been taking it. And so we asked our family about it, and so they let us know, and we weren't allowed to be around him anymore. And so he went from being the number one person in my life to now I haven't seen him in probably 2 years. I'll see him like asking for rides on the side of the street sometimes. And like that's really hard, you know, like when you live with someone and he's like your person and now you see them on the side of the road and like I can't help it. I actually invited him to Christmas last year, and I went in the bathroom and saw him like taking drugs. He doesn't realize because he's in his own world, but like I am here and I'm left to put the pieces of like what he broke. It's been hard because then that makes you feel like somebody that you love so much chose something over you.
I was about 15 years old maybe, and it was over the summer, and I had been with my mom and my sisters during that time, and I got a call from my grandmother, and she's like, your dad is in the hospital, and we're all really, really worried. And we asked, well, why is he in the hospital? And I had thought it was something like he'd gotten a car accident or whatever, and I haven't spoken to my dad in a long time, so I really didn't know what was going on until my grandmother had explained that he had overdosed on a concoction of things, and my heart just kind of sank a little bit. I did go to see him, and I didn't want to, but I got in there, and immediately I just locked eyes with him, and I was just disgusted. He was trying to talk to me and just have a conversation with me like everything was normal, and I'm like, this isn't normal. And before I even said goodbye to him, I turned around and I walked out the door, because that's not a way I want to live my life. I don't want that anywhere near me. I think throughout the years he told me that he was getting away from all that, and looking back now, I think I was just really disappointed. When somebody is doing drugs or even alcohol, like drinking alcohol excessively, it's a very selfish act in my eyes, and they're not thinking about their family. Whenever this happened to me, like almost 3 years ago now, I was very, very traumatized by that, just because I had been lied to over and over again. I think to sort of get past these kinds of experiences in life, you really have to delve into what your talents are and kind of embrace that a little bit more. And I think in order to move on, you have to accept the things that happen and find new ways to sort of cope with that. For me, I think communicating through writing and making art, just creating things with my hands, that has helped me a whole lot.
I used to cope by trying to talk to him and by sending him letters. And when I was little, I have a whole box of like letters that I used to write him. But then I realized that I can't really put that much of me into a person that I can't count on. And so now I try and put it all into God, and I pray for him every night, and I always will, and I always have, and I just pray that God will take care of him, and that's how I cope with it. It gives me peace.
The one thing I would have to say is that even though he wasn't present in my life primarily, I am doing just fine. I mean, I'm getting through. I've made myself a new family, even though my biological family has not been there for me.
If I saw him right now, I would just tell him that I'll never give up on him and that I know that he can make it through this and that I pray for him every day and that I love him and God loves him and I know my family still loves him.
I think it's really rounded me out as a person, and every single day that is progress, a day towards not having to go through any of that stuff ever again.